Hey guys, Jonah here. I'm trying hard to finish off the Taiwan box. And this is a brewery that we've already looked at the article in there. There is quite a nice article. It's Redpoint Brewing. He says trying to find them, but I can't find the article, but quite a good one. And they are here over in Taoyuan, Yuan. Yeah, pretty near Taipei. But yeah, I'm not going to look it up. But basically, they're two American guys that have gone over to Taiwan and set up a brewery. And I wasn't that impressed with their last one. So let's see what we get this time. We have got, like I say, Redpoint Brewing, and it's Rock Monkey. He's a monkey. American Stout, there we go, and it's 4.4. I used to use that for some of my videos. If you want to look back, it's quite a cool song. It's the Rolling Stones. Redpoint Brewing Co. for Mouse and Monkey. Rock Monkey. The Rock Monkey Stout is a delightfully complex beer. Taste of chocolate, coffee, citrusy grapefruit, American hops. Named after Taiwan's only primate. Mischievous stout with a mix of different malts, chocolate, extra black. It's for those who enjoy rich and rewarding hoppy beers. Sounds a bit like a black IPA. Yeah, if you look in there, it says the hops are Cascade, which is interesting. The profile, interestingly, it didn't say the malts. The profile, rich chocolate, coffee, and grapefruit. And it's got butter, fruity, hoppy, not so malty, which is really weird considering it's got a shed load of malts in, but it's 100% awesome. It's got some oats in there. It's got some wheat, black malt, extra black malt, oats, Cara Munich, chocolate bee, all sorts of crazy black stuff. And if you know me, I'm always looking for a crazy black bottom, but I haven't found one today. There we go. Oh, interestingly, that can is slightly easier to open than some of the previous ones. This has been in the fridge, but only for about 3 or 4 hours, because I was worried that it was a bit taut. But I shouldn't have worried. And I love the monkey. Let's have a look in a second once this bad boy is poured into the glass. World class glass. Okay, we've got quite a big head. We'll see if that sticks around. What's that, about a finger and a half? And there he is. He's a monkey. Boom. There we go. Something like that. And then a cheeky grin. Some people say I look a bit like a monkey. Oh, lovely and smooth and creamy on the nose, but look at that head, man. That color is fantastic. We'll say that's sort of a cream, yeah, possible coffee, maybe a tiny bit darker than that. Lovely, lovely dark beer. Interestingly, they're calling it an American stout, having shed loads of hops in. As we all know, especially if you follow my channel, if you're not subscribed, please do so now. Give me a thumbs up while you're there. What they're really trying to say is Cascadian Dark, which is like a black IPA style, as opposed to what they're describing here as a hoppy stout. Interesting. What's the difference between a hoppy stout and a black IPA? Black IPAs tend to have a lot more hops, to be perfectly honest. Does actually smell a bit reminiscent of some of the black IPAs I've had recently. And Cascade used to be the most common hop grown, now Citra is, in the whole world. But Cascade had its moment in time. This was the hop that started a lot of kind of, yeah, the modern, well, maybe the second modern revival of kind of craft beer and that kind of stuff. Be really interesting to see what we get. Yeah, we're down to kind of under a finger's head now, so I'm also getting malty, roasty, little bit of kind of chocolatey kind of astringency there. Be interesting to see, because it just says American stout, doesn't it? Yeah, American stout. Be interesting to see if this is dry or sweet. Anyway, I will leave it no longer. Cheers and beers. Let's see what we get from this one. Okay, interesting. Very interesting, actually. So it starts off reasonably dry. The hop bitterness is pretty pronounced, but then it gets even more hoppy. There is a little bit of creaminess there too. I mean, it's not a super hopped beer. It's not an IPA, like a West Coast style IPA. It's not that bitter, but there's been a lot of hops thrown at this. The creaminess is there too. Yeah, perhaps a little bit more creamy than you would have in a black IPA style. We're talking something along the lines of, yeah, not a superbly dry stout, but definitely got that kind of creaminess. Whereas a black IPA is slightly less creamy. Uh, it's just the colour essentially is real dark. Although they put brown malt and caramel malt in there to make it a bit sweeter. This is medium, not sweet, not super dry. The hops are there. Don't know if they really taste to me of Cascade, which is interesting. So the fact that they're putting shed loads of different malts in there says to me that they're going for a little bit of they're going more on the stout side than perhaps a black IPA. So let's go with an American stout, whatever that may mean, a hoppy stout. Creamy, rich. There is a bit of coffee there, a little bit of roastiness too. Because of the hop profile, everything's merging together. I don't know if that's exactly what they were going for, to be honest. Either do one thing or the other, but maybe that's how. I'm not really versed on American stout, to be honest. Obviously, because I live in the UK. Yeah, interesting. Maybe there's a tiny touch of sourness there. Um, but I don't know where that's coming from because it's not astringency from the malts. It's almost like a kind of bitter souringness, perhaps from the yeast. I wonder if they put a tiny touch of some other kind of different yeast in there. And for me, Cascade is quite bright, sort of almost peachy and that kind of thing. It's not usually grapefruit. So I'm wondering if that sourness, um, they're saying that it comes from the hops themselves. Maybe they're Cascade grown in Taiwan and it gives a different flavor than Cascade in Oregon or Yakima or wherever the majority of Cascade is grown in the States. But yeah, it doesn't taste like US Cascade. Maybe it is, and there's some other thing involved, but yeah, pardon me, interesting. Also, up front, there's a little bit more grittiness that I didn't get the first time. So grittiness, roastedness, um, but the hops, the generic kind of hop taste, um, yeah, is definitely there too. So it's molded together a bit too much, so you can't pick one thing over another thing, which sometimes is good. Maybe in this case, because this beer style is, yeah, one that I'm not familiar with, bit odd. And of course, it's an American beer, but brewed in Taiwan. Obviously, it's brewed by American brewers, but they're just brewing it in Taiwan. So maybe this would come out differently if they brewed in America, whereas what's available in Taiwan might not be exactly the same. Does that make sense? The terroir of the malts and the hops. Who knows? Maybe they've imported all of it, but then at least the water profile would be different, unless they're going back to basics with the water as well. Creamy, hoppy, dark. In fact, that last sip, the last little bit from the bottom, actually tasted more peachy, which is more like Cascade used to be. So maybe the particles have settled out a little bit, and I got that big hit of Cascade hops just from that last little bit there. But yeah, there we go. That is the Monkey Brew Rock Monkey by Redpoint Brewing. I have to say, I like this one more than the other can that I tried earlier in the box. I think that was a good one. Guys, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember Uncle Jonah, he'll always be back with another beer review real soon.